Hey guys, Stefan here, and I've got a very special guest for you guys today. I've got Katherine Dollar. She's somebody that I've done a lot of marketing work with in the past. I think we've worked on a couple of campaigns together for both Juniper as well as Palo Alto Networks.
Mm-hmm.
And you work at Moxie Blue Media, correct?
Correct.
Yep.
Yes.
And so I've just, I'm very fortunate to sit down with you today because, like I said, we've done some work together in the past, and I've always wanted to get a chance to meet you face to face.
And it finally happened. You're in Dallas. We're in downtown right
We
now.
are in downtown Dallas in a very swanky Jewel Hotel right here.
Oh,
So
yes, you did a good choice.
it's a really nice place here. Actually, I think this was one of your recommendations, so thank you for. So one of the things that I'd like to talk to you about, one of the things that I think really resonates with me in terms of your marketing initiatives is your involvement in the role of storytelling in your marketing campaigns. As we've worked on a couple of these together, I've seen sort of the process that you take in the role of storytelling, and I'd like you to kind of give maybe the audience a little bit of feel for why you feel storytelling is important, and what are your personal thoughts there? How does that resonate with the audience? And,
Oh, absolutely. Well, guess what? The good news is it's not just a feeling of why storytelling is so effective. There is so much research, like do any Google search on how storytelling impacts the brain. And because technology and science is so advanced now, we actually see that it does impact the brain and our belief systems, and how they did a study where people come in and they're doing a storytelling project. They take their blood sample before and after, actually increases their oxytocin levels, which is the bonding chemical, right? So we even see they did studies where they're watching brain patterns. Again, everyone's been doing everything on their own all day. They come in, they're all thinking different things, have different thought patterns. They have a storyteller come up and tell a story in the right way. It does have to be, we'll get to that maybe in this conversation, crafted a certain way. The story is going to, we've all been in those boring situations where, yes, there's a story being told, but you're not engaged.
Right.
Or do we finish every movie or book or series?
Yeah.
So it's not enough to have story. But when done correctly, they actually found that the brain patterns of the storyteller, everyone else in the room, they started to match those brain patterns.
Right.
So that's one of the benefits, getting to the second part of your question, is why are we using this in marketing? Depends on your goal, right? If you're wanting for a case study, for example, if you want a potential customer to feel what it's like to work with you through a happy customer's eyes, then you want your case study to read like a certain story so they get that emotional benefit, not just the logical, oh, I could save 93% increase in or decrease in risk or whatever those stats are like. Yeah, speaking of your logic, but you're not feeling the relief of, oh gosh, I feel more secure now, or I feel that control over my automation. Whatever it is you want them to feel, now they're feeling it like they've experienced it.
I think, as we were talking about earlier today, I can personally relate to the speakers that incorporate storytelling, and it's something that I'd like to work on more, as opposed to somebody just going up and doing speaking engagements or doing some kind of marketing campaign that is just factual driven or driven around, rote facts and that kind of thing. When you bring in stories into the equation, I know from personal experience, those are the things that I tend to remember more and sort of connect with me on a more personal level, so more relatable. But I'm just curious, because you've obviously really embraced the role of storytelling. How did you come to that in your own life? Was that sort of an evolution, or were you always like that?
Yeah. Both. I almost feel like I was designed to be a storyteller. And right, like how does one make an entire job out of being a storyteller unless you're Stephen King, right? Or someone out there making movies. But think about our world today. I think you were the one that mentioned just a few minutes ago, our attention spans have plummeted. And think of social media. I mean, now, your target audience has so many other people throwing ads at them. Just this week, I've gotten so many cold sales pitch emails, and I'm like, really? Like, is anyone? I want to write back and be like, do you need help crafting your email? Is anyone responding to you?
Yeah.
And so it's become even more competitive to communicate. So we have shorter attention spans where people aren't paying attention as long anyway. And then just the competitive content saturated world. So yeah, interesting question, but I did what everyone told me not to do in college, which was to study script writing and psychology. I have always been fascinated by what is this magic that, I can hear a story and it influenced beliefs and actions and what I think about the world. I remember reading John Steinbeck's A When We're Discontent. I was like, not even a teenager yet. I'm like, I feel like I know what it feels like to be a 40-year-old man, responsible for my family, stressed with my job. I'm not even a man. I'm not in my 40s, but I understand this life. So I was always curious about that. And then I got out of school, and so it happens, now we have all these analytics, right? So now I'm in marketing agencies and seeing, I can take this user behavior data and mix it with story technique, and suddenly we have a really awesome, technique on how to use this for different channel situations.
Cool.
So it was almost like my whole life, kind of. And I grew up in the publishing industry. My dad owns a publishing company.
Awesome.
So talk about seeing the transition from traditional publishing, where you're using your own machinery, to completely digital.
That's cool. So, it sounds like you've got the great background to really have embraced that whole storytelling initiative. Let me transition and talk a little bit about women in tech, because I don't think we see, and you are definitely a woman in tech. You're involved in a lot of, marketing initiatives with tech companies. And just, I think that is a personal interest that you have in general.
The nerd in me, the sci-fi nerd in me.
You like to have a lot of nerd talks and those kinds of things. What are your thoughts around women in tech? Is it challenging to be a woman in tech? Because let's be frank about it. It is still a very male-dominant industry. And as a father of a 12-year-old, very impressionable young lady, I'd love to see more women in these sort of roles, sort of taking an active role in the tech industry. So, do you find it to be something that's hard to be a woman in tech? Do you feel that you're on a little bit of an island, or do you think that that's changing? And is that something that you have any thoughts around, maybe how other women can get more involved into the tech industry?
Right. Great question. And I have felt nothing but welcomed by the industry, even though it is primarily men. I do seem to see more women engineers, right, and cybersecurity specialists, but still the minority. The type where you see each other like, hey, at least it's a short bathroom line here. You kind of make jokes about it with the other women that are around. And again, I'm not an engineer either, right? So my role is slightly different because I'm not on the engineering side. But I would say just go for it. I have found nothing but the people in the industry to be welcoming and want to support it. And so I think if you're passionate about it, and maybe you feel the same way, maybe you feel like there's a lot of events that have led you up to be just perfect for being in the tech role, go for it. Learn how to communicate, right? So you can get people on board, kind of moving and influencing. You can use storytelling for that, right? And just go for it, because you'll be satisfied. And I think people are very welcoming to it, and they're going to help you and support. I've never had anyone not support me and say, how can we help you, or what do you need, or what resources can I give you? It's been nothing but support.
So, in jumping back to a little bit more of your, women in tech, but involving storytelling, I know that you are a big sci-fi fan. Do you think that, apart from just, I think everybody benefits from reading in general, but sci-fi and sort of tech, they go very much hand in hand. So, would you say that maybe some of that sci-fi reading passion that you have is something that helps you translate into some of your storytelling and your role as a woman in tech?
100%, because in so many ways, sci-fi is just a smokescreen for what's really going on, or what we think is going to happen. And so you see a lot of what people are predicting. We even see people like Elon Musk, saying they got some of their ideas from the sci-fi they read. So it broadens my imagination. Anytime you're reading more things and taking in new information, it's going to broaden your mind. It's like a muscle.
Right.
So that helps. It helps me put context and relate to other people, and just growing that general imagination. So that because my clients, it's not sci-fi, right? We're actually creating science fact. So the stories have to be factual. They have to be true, because they're going to use that to explain their solution to a customer or partner or board of directors, whoever it is. So it helps to have that frame for effective science fiction, but now turning it into science fact and making it very factual.
Yeah, in a way, yesterday's sci-fi is today's sci-fact. Right?
It is.
What we imagined in the past we're seeing a lot of that stuff coming to fruition now. So I guess my next question would be, would it be Isaac Asimov or Philip K. Dick if you had to choose between the two? Or do you have another one?
Only because he was such a pillar of sci-fi. The law of robotics. And here's the interesting thing: writing styles change. Some might consider his stories slow, again, because think how old those were written. We see these patterns change again. With how our minds change to technology, attention spans, what we're used to. So, just his books have me sitting on the edge of my seat like some others. No, but I love the ideas behind it, and we see so many authors picking up on that and taking it. He created such a foundation for so many of us.
So we've got Isaac Asimov, 3 Laws of Robotics. I know you've spoken in the past about AI. So let me ask you, are the robots coming?
Possibly. I think you probably see this too, though. A lot of companies we're taking it on AI, but we're also terrified of it. You see so many companies not.
Yeah.
They're even scared to use automation to a certain degree. They want it, but it's but I still want to be in so much control. So I hope we have more. I want more AI. You know how many things I would do with AI in my role? Can't talk too much about that. Some exciting things maybe coming up in the future. So, but will they take over like Terminator style?
Right.
I think it's definitely possible. So I think it's good we're being proactive and very careful. And another way story can come in. Did you know schools like MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology, they have the world's third largest public library for science fiction, and they even have classes called fiction to prototype, just so people can understand the full impact of their technology and think outside the box. What if a villain did get a hold of this? Right? So that's one way we could use story more just our innovations, is making sure we're thinking of all the ways this could be used, whether for good or bad. Because obviously companies don't go in and obviously thinking, we're going to create an AI that takes over the entire humanity. So it gets us to think outside the box, even when it's uncomfortable.
So, and I think you've got a video out there of your talk on AI, right?
Right.
Is that's on YouTube? Or?
It is.
Okay.
Under my personal, not the Moxie Blue Media.
And if you're comfortable, I'll post a link to that. So if you guys want to see her very excellent talk on AI. And I think that's pretty much it here today. I really appreciate you spending time with me today. It's been an honor to get a chance to interview you and talk about 2 things that are really kind of near and dear to my heart. One is technology, and the other one is marketing, and just sort of how you do storytelling to reach out to an audience. What I'd like to just maybe share with the audience, is there any way that people can sort of follow you? Like, you're obviously on LinkedIn. Is there any other things that you'd like to share with the audience in terms of how to follow you and keep up with some of the cool work that you're doing?
Great question. LinkedIn's probably the best way, because I'm going to be sharing more content as well and tips, and send me a message if you have any questions that way. And then there's also the Moxie Blue Media website. It's moxiebluemedia.com. And those are going to be the best ways, because it's where I'm channeling the content and the ideas. And you can find me.
As I can attest, I've worked with her in the past on several marketing campaigns. So if you guys are looking for somebody to help you with your marketing campaigns or incorporate storytelling, you should definitely reach out to Katherine and the folks over at Moxie Blue Media. So thanks a lot for joining me today, Katherine.
Yeah, thank you so much. A Nerd Talk in person. We've been waiting for this for years.
Hashtag Nerd Talk.
Yes.
All right.
All right. Well, thanks so much.
Thank you.
See y'all soon.
See you guys.